Hello and welcome back to another episode of Kaluno Gaming playing Satisfactory. So I have to say I made a huge mistake and I ended up deleting a lot of footage for this entire top floor as well as some of the surrounding areas on accident. So this is going to be kind of a two-half episode. The first half is going to be kind of a new updated base tour showing these sections here. And then the second half is going to be building screws for making the motors. So the areas that I just showed are my motor section, my heavy modular frames, and computers. Which I strongly apologize that I deleted the footage on accident, but hopefully the base tour today will make up for that. So a quick start off, over here we have assemblers making circuit boards, we have constructors back there making copper sheets and wire, and we have a bunch of assemblers on the far left making stators, rotors, and motors. Over here we have a temporary section, and I'll explain this when I do the tour, but it's making plastic to come up over the base and go all the way across to the other side for making circuit boards as well as making computers. Well, circuit boards for the computers. So back here I was also kind of saying this is the constructor row. This is back half is making wire. The front half is making copper sheets. Copper sheets are used for the circuit boards as well as going to be used for a alternate recipe to make copper rotors. So because I have so much copper ingots, or I needed so much copper ingots, so many copper ingots, I had to build an entire refinery section over here using this tiny little pond. Was amazing. So that way there I can make a bunch of copper ingots per minute to supply that. I also have a new section of refineries over here for Caterium, making a ludicrous amount of quick wire per minute. I have 4 lines at, I believe, 400 each. So I think I have like around 300 each, because I believe I have around 1200 quick wire per minute being produced out of this section here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in, and we'll kind of show you the new areas for the computers, for the motors, as well as over here the new iron section for building screws. Top section here on the floor will be for a ton of constructors. I actually think I ran out of space on that one floor. I wanted to do everything on that one floor and I wasn't able to. So it kind of goes back to my build tip video. If you haven't seen that, I strongly recommend it. That build tip video, one of the tips was make sure you always have extra space. I tend to run out of extra space quite often. So let's go ahead and start the tour off. Over here are my new water extractors. These I piped over to the Caterium as well as pure iron ingot sections. So 3 of them go into 2 pipes, and then the other 3 go into another 2 pipes, so four pipes in total that follow down this way into this refinery section, which, like I said, I need to redo. I'm thinking about building a bridge across the void right there and having a bunch of refineries on there. I haven't fully decided yet what I'm doing with that, so I've kind of just left it like this makeshift area for now, and we'll kind of decide that at a future time. I want to kind of get these computers going so I can start building a train, so I can start work on the BAB 5, which will be my next base. So this is also just showing my heavy oil residue as well as my fuel. Those are all just temporary storage solutions. I'm going to figure out a nicer look to those once I kind of build the bridge across, or once I build the next base. So as you can see here, once again described in my quick tip video, these pipes go through the pillar heads on these bridges and on my BAB4, and it kind of leaves for a unique aesthetic as well as being functional, which I kind of like. So you can see over here, just going through it quickly, this is my Caterium refineries. So Caterium in, Caterium ingots out. I believe a refinery only makes 12 Caterium ingots per minute, which is, when looking at the constructors and smelters, is better than the smelters. And over here are the pure iron ingot refineries. The two in the middle here, however, split off, and both of these actually are set to a 28% underclock. Reason being is I have 720 iron ore coming into this section, split between two lines, and actually load balanced between the two lines. So when you did the math, you actually needed one less, or I think it was one less than full refinery. So that way there, you do the math, split whatever the last section is amongst two of them, so you have an even amount, and it works out. This is the line I have pre-built now for screws going all the way back across the BAB4. And actually I need to fix this one section of belt real quick, otherwise that's going to bother me. If I can, I like to have belts running flat. I don't like to have slants on the belts, or like an incline or decline on a belt if I don't have to. That being said, there's certain sections where having an incline or decline to a belt looks better, but if I can avoid it and use a lift instead, usually I will. So you can see here, these are the two assemblers that require the screws, and they require 195 screws per minute each. So it's just shy of 400 screws each per minute. So I'm going to overfill my screws and do a full Mark IV belt line, so 480 screws per minute. That way there, I don't have to worry about them running out. And it just kind of overfills the machine, so we have a constant amount of rotors being produced. So to talk about this section real quick, in the back here we have our standard stator recipe, which those two on the left and two on the right split off, and the two on the left go to the left, the two on the right go to the right assembler, which then in the middle here we have that copper rotor alternate recipe using those 195 screws per minute. Now the left one goes to the left assembler, right one goes to the right assembler. Down here at the end we have the regular motor recipe, making 5 motors each per minute, so a total of 10 motors per minute when all said and done. And of course that'll get piped off the back of the BAB4 and go down into the central storage that I have down there. Another thing that we have up top here that I didn't get to be able to show was my new storage for steel beam and steel pipe. I have them being filtered off after the manufacture for the heavy modular frames, as well as a smart splitter on the beams for making it so that it kind of prioritizes making the encased industrial beam and for the heavy modular frames rather than going to storage. Alright, and just kind of showing you my lovely belt spaghetti. Is this the splitter? Nope. Okay, so that's just a regular splitter for my steel beam. This is the smart splitter I was telling you about for my steel beam. And then also you can see the lovely copper line, or for copper wire that's coming through, which all starts all the way back over here at my copper refineries, which make each side of this refinery section makes 300 copper ingot per minute. So a total of 600 copper ingots per minute are being made over here, which those travel down this bus line, pop up here at the end, and go directly into the constructors. So as I said, the first half here are making copper sheets, and the back half over here is making wire, which I'm only using one of the lines of wire right now. The other line I'm thinking of either just putting down into storage or belting off over into the train station like I was saying, and having it go over to wherever we create the BAB5. Alright, and now to jump into the second half of this video, we're going to start work on making the screws so we can get the motor section set up. So here I have about 70 constructors. The first 24 on the right are going to be for iron plate. I don't know what I'm going to do with those just yet, but I figure I might need them, might as well build them. And then here is the floor on top of it, which is going to be 34 constructors that are going to be making solely screws. So this left half underneath here is going to be for iron rods, and a section of those are going to get belted up for making the screw production, which eventually will be belted over into making motors. So you can see here I have everything belted together, everything's ready to go. I ended up turning these last two constructors just for aesthetics, make it look a little bit nicer, as well as being able to split them amongst the other two lines. That way there I can have 4 even lines of screws being produced, all said and done. So the only thing I have left to do over here now is to power it on. Once I power it on, we should see this entire floor should end up having green lights, and then the top floor we'll have to check on just to make sure it's making enough screws. So everything here should be full of iron ingots. As you can see, it took some clever splitting and merging on this floor to have everything balance out correctly. So you can see the center line here is actually going to be for the iron rods that are going up to be making screws. And actually I forgot a lift right here. That wouldn't have been good to turn that on. And this is something I just like doing every time that I build a new base section that isn't powered yet. It's just making sure all my power lines are connected, all my belts are connected, all my mergers are connected, all my splitters are connected. Just making sure everything is good to go beforehand, because then once I turn it on, it's kind of like a set it and forget it. So you can see here, this is that output for iron plates that I was talking about. And then mirrored over to the other side, we have an iron rod output right here. And as you can see, they kind of sit in the same spot. One's over there, one's back here. That way they're kind of easy to access. I know exactly where they're at, and later on I won't forget about them. And you can see this last line was that middle row of rods going up for the screws. So without further ado, let's go ahead and power this thing on. Reconnect our hypertube here, and everything looks like it's green. Perfect. So I see rods being made here, rods going across the middle, rods going up to the top. Alright. We should see glimpses of screws coming through now. And there they are. Perfect. So we're going to let that fill up a little bit and then we'll attach it. And I already have the belt work laid out for the screws, so all we're going to have to do is attach it on this end. And I already wired up the assemblers on the BAB4, so all we're going to have to do is go power those on as well once we get this section filled up a little bit. Also, real quick, if you guys enjoy my videos, go ahead and please share them to someone that you think would like this type of content as well. Currently, with playing Satisfactory, I have gained around 50 new subscribers, which is amazing. You guys are all awesome, and I can't thank you enough. And I would love to try to get to 500 subscribers. I'm thinking if we can get to 500 subscribers, I'm going to do a giveaway of some kind. So please go ahead and share this video to your friends if they like it, and we can get to 500 subscribers. We'll give a shot at a giveaway of some kind. Also, don't forget to like my content as well as subscribe and turn on the bell notification. That way there you'll be notified weekly when I go ahead and release these videos, as well as the comment section. I know for this type of content, I'd like to get the community involved in it. I would like to have more people kind of comment on what they would like to see being built, as well as maybe some input on design style. So I know on Reddit I made a suggestion of building some sort of train station, which will be in the next video. And I believe the last time I checked, the giant nut and bolt train station was the winner. So you can see here I just powered up these assemblers. The screws just got over here. Stators are being made. We should have rotors being made here in just a minute. Yep, we're almost there to 52 screws. There we go. Okay, so now copper rotors should be producing here. And once those are done and come over here, we'll end up building motors. And they are on their way. And just like that, we now have an automated motor section making 10 motors per minute. And it fits nicely over here on this little side of the BAB4. So like I said, go ahead and like this content, share it with a friend. If we get to 500 subscribers, I'll do a giveaway of some kind, and I'll have more details about that once we get to that point. But for now, I think we're going to kind of cut it here, and I'll let you guys kind of watch the last few minutes of this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Next time we will be building trains. So this is going to be Kaluno Gaming signing off for the day. Have a good day.